Imagine being stalked by someone who knows everything about your life online and offline. This is the story of the Virtual Stalker, where a digital connection turns into an absolute nightmare. Are you ready to hear this terrifying story? Press play and come with us. Emily was a young professional leading a normal, peaceful life. She worked at an advertising agency and spent much of her free time browsing social media and interacting with friends online. She loved sharing moments of her life, from travel photos to updates about her work and personal life. The digital world was a space where she felt connected and safe. Little did she know that this security was about to be shattered. It all started with strange messages on her social media accounts. At first, they were harmless comments, like compliments on her photos and questions about her day. However, soon the messages began to become more personal and invasive. An anonymous user seemed to know details about her life that she had never shared online. He mentioned places she frequented and even specific events from her past. Emily ignored the first messages, believing it was just an internet troll. But when she started receiving emails and direct messages with even more personal and frightening information, she realized that something was terribly wrong. Who was this person, and how did they know so much about her life? As days passed, the messages became more threatening. The stalker seemed to always be one step ahead, knowing where Emily was and what she was doing. He sent photos of her taken in private moments, like when she was at home or leaving for work. Emily's sense of security began to dissipate, replaced by a growing paranoia. She installed security cameras in her home and changed all her passwords, but nothing seemed to stop the stalker. He continued to invade her privacy, sending messages that demonstrated an intimate knowledge of her routine. Emily felt like a fish in a bowl, constantly watched and vulnerable. One night, upon returning from work, Emily noticed that her apartment door was slightly open. Her heart raced as she carefully pushed the door open. The apartment was ransacked, as if someone had been looking for something specific. Her laptop and phone were missing. The stalker had invaded not just her digital life, but now her physical space as well. Desperate, Emily called the police. They searched the area but found no conclusive evidence. Authorities suggested she stay in a safe place and avoid using social media until the investigation progressed. Emily decided to temporarily move in with a friend, but the fear continued to haunt her. Even in the new location, the messages continued. The stalker seemed to know where she was, sending photos of her and her friend inside the new house. Emily began to suspect everyone around her, questioning if someone close could be helping the stalker. The paranoia increased every day, making it impossible for her to trust anyone. Emily began having recurring nightmares, where she was constantly chased by a shadowy figure representing her stalker. The line between dream and reality started to blur, and she felt like she was losing control of her own mind. The stalker was destroying her life, and there was nowhere to run. Determined to take back her life, Emily decided to investigate on her own. She remembered a childhood friend, Mike, who worked in cybersecurity. Mike agreed to help and began tracking the messages and suspicious activities. After weeks of investigation, he discovered that the stalker was using the dark web to obtain information about Emily and manipulate devices around her. The revelation was devastating. The stalker wasn't someone close, but a digital predator using advanced techniques to invade the lives of his victims. He had hacked all of Emily's devices, monitoring her every move and controlling her digital interactions. Mike and Emily decided to set a trap to catch the stalker. They created a fake event on social media, where Emily announced a trip to a specific location. Monitoring the dark web and social media, Mike was able to trace the stalker's location when he tried to get more information about the event. With the location in hand, the police were alerted and an operation was set up. The stalker was finally captured in an apartment full of surveillance equipment and hacked devices. His identity was shocking: a man living in the shadows of society, using his technical skills to terrorize and control his victims. Even with the stalker in jail, Emily's sense of security never returned. She moved to a new city, changed jobs, and tried to restart her life, but the scars of digital terror remained. Every notification on her phone made her tremble, and her online presence was never the same. She knew the stalker was imprisoned, but the idea that there could be others like him kept her in a constant state of alert. Emily became an advocate for cybersecurity, warning others about the dangers of sharing personal information online. However, she also knew that the battle against digital predators was never-ending. Emily tried to move on, but one night, while checking her emails, she found a new and terrifying message: "I'm always watching." The sender was unknown. The nightmare seemed to be starting again, leaving Emily with the horrible feeling that the terror would never end. The question lingering in the air was the stalker really in jail, or was there another watching from the shadows? Emily's life was marked forever, and she knew that, in the digital world, security was a fragile illusion. Do you want part 2 of this story? Leave it in the comments. If you have a horror story and want to see it published on our channel, send us your story.